clearly there's a long way to go in various legal and university processes, but Michael Floyd's not on the roster.
Right.
Obviously, the suspension was announced yesterday.
Yes.
Do you have to prepare, like you're not going to have him for 2011 starting now?
Oh, I think every time that, whether there's an injury or somebody that's not with us, our focus is strictly on the guys that are here. So we're preparing our football team through the skill development and unit consistency around the guys that are here. So, but that really hasn't changed much relative to how I go to work every day, whether it's a suspension or not. You know, we're going to go to work and develop our players, and we can only develop the players that are here.
I don't know if it's too early to speculate, but I mean, how much does that change even what you do right now, not having a guy like that?
Well, you know, I don't want to speculate. I want to really put the 11 best players on the field that give us the best chance to beat South Florida. So, Brian, we immediately have to be able to look at that when we step out on the practice field. You know, you don't get much time in the spring. If you're waiting around, dreaming and hoping, you're going to miss great opportunities to develop your players. We need to see, you know, all of our players on the offensive side of the ball. So we'll get to work on that immediately.
And I don't know if I was reading too much between the lines of the statement you put out yesterday. For a guy that was a captain, was a captain, I don't even know if that's still intact. How disappointing is that for you to come across? Is that
there's a range of emotions that you have. I think it's a lot like a parent would have, from anger to disappointment to, you know, making sure that something like that in his life never happens again. I think you go through the gamut of all those things. And, you know, we want to be able to support Mike, but also understand that this was a serious offense. And so I think all those emotions play in it when you first hear about something like that.
Just last thing for me, kind of moving on to the quarterbacks. Does Dane be able to do whatever he's going to be able to do, give you some optimism that you might get a good feel, a better feel than you had hoped for between him and Tommy, and where you might go with that?
Well, I thought, and again, if we assume that we can use the same model, Brian, that we used last year with Dane, I'm expecting a competitive evaluation, so we can leave the spring saying, you know what, I think we've got a better idea of who that starter may be coming into the South Florida game. So my expectations are that it's going to be a very competitive situation at quarterback, and Dane can include his name in that competitive battle.